Think Outside the Lines is a space for anyone ready to stop checking boxes, to step off autopilot, and create the life you actually want, with clarity, intention, and alignment. Whether you're questioning the default path, rebuilding from scratch, or just looking to feel a little more like yourself. Think about the last time you were on the edge of something new, a decision you were weighing, a conversation you were rehearsing, a change you were considering. And in that moment, on that edge, what was your brain doing? It was running worst-case scenarios. What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if people think I'm crazy? What if I give up everything I've built and end up with nothing? Sound familiar? We do this constantly. And we're so good at it that we don't even realize it's happening. We rehearse failure in exquisite detail. Every possible thing that could go wrong. Every way it could fall apart. Every reason it's too risky, too late, too unlikely. And here's the thing. We call that being realistic. We call it being practical, being smart, being responsible. But it's not any of those things. It's fear, dressed up as logic. Because here's what's interesting. We almost never run the other scenario. We almost never sit with the question, what if it actually works out? Not in a naive, toxic positivity kind of way. Not just think positive and everything will be fine, but in a genuine, honest, let me actually consider this possibility kind of way. What if the conversation goes well? What if the leap leads somewhere better? What if the thing you're afraid of turns out to be the thing that changes everything? We don't let ourselves go there. And I think the reason is, it feels dangerous. Not in a physical way, but in an emotional way. Because if you actually let yourself imagine it working out, really imagine it, feel it, sit in it, then you have to confront something uncomfortable. The only thing standing between you and that version of your life is the decision to go after it. And that's terrifying, because now it's on you. It's so much easier to stay in the fear. At least in the fear, you don't have to do anything. The worst case scenario gives you permission to stay exactly where you are. It's a reason not to try. And reasons not to try feel safe, even when they're slowly suffocating you. But what if you flipped it? What if, just once, you gave the best case scenario the same amount of airtime as the worst? Not to be optimistic, not to manifest, but just to be fair. Because right now, you're not being fair. You're giving fear a microphone and keeping possibility on mute. I think about this in my own life all the time. When I was in corporate, when I was inside the system, doing the thing, checking the boxes, the fear of leaving was enormous. What if I can't make it on my own? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm making the biggest mistake of my life? Those questions were so loud, and they felt so real, so rational. But you know what question I almost never asked? What if it works? What if I leave and build something that actually feels like mine? What if the freedom is worth the risk? What if the life on the other side of this fear is better than anything I could plan? From inside the safety of what I know. I didn't ask those questions enough. And when I finally did, when I finally gave them the same weight as the fear, everything started to shift. Not because the fear went away. It didn't. It's still here, honestly. But because I realized the fear was only one possible outcome, and I'd been treating it like the only one. So I want you to try something. Not today necessarily, but soon. The next time you're on the edge of something and your brain starts running the worst case scenarios, and it will because that's what brains do. Just pause and ask yourself, what if it all works out? Let yourself sit in that. Not as a fantasy, as a real possibility. One that's just as likely as the fear. Maybe more likely, honestly, because you're more capable than you're giving yourself credit for. Fear asks, what if you fail? Possibility asks, what if you fly? They're both just questions, but you've been answering the wrong one. So I'll leave you with this question to ponder. What if it all works out? Thanks for spending some time with me today. Choosing to step off autopilot and think differently about your life takes work, and I don't take it lightly that you're here. If today's episode resonated, the best way to support the show is to share it with someone who might need to hear it. And whenever you're ready to go deeper, whether through free worksheets, guided audio reflections, or one-on-one coaching, You can find everything over at thinkoutside thelines.com. Be well, and I'll catch you next time.